Fox News' Charlie Langton joining us live now at DPD headquarters. And Charlie, we understand you just heard from police. They gave an update on the investigation.
Yeah, I tell you what, we literally just heard about it less than an hour ago from Chief White himself, updating us on the investigation. But as the chief pretty much said, and I'll reiterate now, there are still a lot more questions to be answered. Wish we had more information, and it's not for lack of trying. There are a number of police agencies trying to find three rappers who were last seen about 10 days ago. They believe that these rappers were last seen at a club, Lounge 31 on the east side of Detroit. Their car was found in Warren, but where the connection is, that remains a mystery. Real quick, we're looking for 38-year-old now, Armani Kelly, he's from Oscoda, and then 31-year-old Montoya Gibbons from Detroit, and Dante Wickers from Melvindale. Let's look at the chief right now, because he outlines a number of concerns. Take a listen.
There are some pieces of the case that are very concerning, one being that the vehicle was located in Warren that they were driving.
The police were able to get 3 search warrants out quickly, and then they got phone records.
And we were able to pull phone data and see that there's no activity on any of their phones. They're not hitting any towers, they're not communicating. That's also very concerning.
More concerns, but the working theory is now that all 3 of the men did make it to Lounge 31 to perform some rap show, but that show got canceled.
That's the theory. We know right now that they were together at some point, all 3. We know that at this point that the event was canceled at Lounge 31. What we don't know completely is what happened from that point, and if they left together or what.
And we also don't know why that rap show was canceled. Again, there are still a lot more questions to be answered. Now, Chief White hesitating a little bit. There may be some more news out of that Warren where that car was found. It was found in an apartment building. There are still questioning people over there. But the chief wanted to emphasize that the most important thing and the most troubling thing, the fact that within the last 10 days, no social media communication and no phone communication from these 3. That's very troubling. One other thing, the chief wants to make it known that if anybody out there has any information about these 3, give the Detroit police a call. Taryn, I'll send it back to you.
Well, you mentioned their phones, Charlie. Were they able to ping them before they went off? I mean, do we know where these 3 individuals were when their phones were still working? Was the lounge the last place that they were heard from on their phone?
Yeah, the search warrants. They actually got the search warrants for the phones. They were all pinned before January 21st. So since January 21st, no pins, just no communication. Which is another thing. Which is troubling a little bit is that some of these men were reported missing a couple of days after January 31st. But that's why the police are taking such an interest and an intense investigation on this, because of the fact that it's been just too long now. And these are young men. Somewhere, somehow, these 3 should have been discovered. They haven't. Taryn?
And quite a mystery, and we know somebody knows something, so hopefully they'll come forward as soon as possible.